tried to check into South Cars a couple of times, and boy, it's just so hard to get in. I mean, you just have to, it's kind of like breaking a pile up. I can do it, but, I just don't. And, of course, Joe has an hour shift on Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. your time, and so I'll try to get in for that. If you didn't know, Joe's getting ready to move up to Chattanooga, and he's moving up there to be with family, so Quack and Quack, Art, N4JK, and Joe are getting ready to at least physically split up, being in the same proximity. And that's great on that AM station with 813s. I'm hoping to hear John BZS on the net tonight. I think he might have a surprise for us, and I don't want to give that away. And those tubes with graphite plates, I have several of them here. And if you can get them red, you're doing pretty good, because they're almost bulletproof. I gave Charlie my last 400. It was brand new, and it had graphite plate, and I don't think he's ever gotten anything red. Charlie, K4FNY, sorry. KF4TXQ, W4AX.
Hey, Sam. Hey, Mac, KN4 Mike, Echo.
Well, hello, Dr. John in Killen, Alabama. How you doing? I'm in here with Mac, W4AX in Ball Ground, Georgia. And we're just sitting here chewing the fat and, just kind of keeping the frequency occupied before the eagle nest. And we're still scratching our heads, wondering who's actually going to do the eagle net, but I'm not sure. But it may be, I think it's Kevin, WA4KM, but I'm not sure. And I tell you what, I'm not sure about anything. I just take it all as a gift. Over to you, Dr. John, and then turn it back to Max, W4AX. This is KF4TXU. To you, Dr. John.
Yeah, very good, Sam. I'm not sure you have your linear on. I've heard you louder. Max Damon. Good afternoon with the broadcast quality AM. Wow. I think I sent you a sample of your audio, Mac, but I've got half-eye speakers here, a pair of them above me, and this little Sherwood synchronous detector has a fun route, he calls it, hi-fi amplifier built in, coming out of the 8KC position on the R390A IF, and it is it's wondrous, as Sam would say, wondrous. Anyway, keep it short. I was trying to rig my coax back and forth the inside and outside shack so that I can use the new multi-element inverted V and use that antenna to work 40 through 10 because it works better than my 75 meter inverted V, tuning it with a kilowatt matchbox. And my coax came loose. I got to do a better job of soldering. I'm not all that great at that. We'll get it working. W4AX in the crew, KN4, Mike Echo. If Kevin comes on, we'll hear him, that's for sure.
Okay, I heard Joe in there. Joe, I'll pass to you, and you'll pass it back to Sam. Real strong here, Joe, but I think I'll be able to copy you just fine. Conditions still aren't great. And good evening to you, and good evening, Dr. John. Great signal, and you're always doing well. Well, when I'm on this rig, I'm running 150% positive modulation and 100% negative modulation. I think that helps with the punch. And I'm running legal limit carrier of 375 watts of carrier. And I'd be interested, Dr. John, in what the design is on that multi-element inverted V. How many elements there are, and sort of what the rough spacing is. I've thought about and have built in the past wire beam antennas, and I've thought about building one for 80 meters. And I've switched from soldering connectors to crimp connectors. All the aircraft and spacecraft and everything else use crimp connectors now. They're very reliable. And I've got all the tools and all the connectors for basically any cable size and any termination type. And I just find it a lot more reliable and a lot more durable than soldering. Nothing wrong with soldering. I did it for years, but just what I've switched to. Let's get Joe in here, and Joe, you'll go back to Sam, KF4TXQ. K4JCP, W4AX ball ground. Joe, are you in there? Anybody copy Joe? I definitely heard him.
Negative copy here.
I'm copying him on Lake Martin, but not great. Mr. Joe, mighty fine. Well, I'm copying you a lot better now. It just took a little fade there or something. I think the propagation is playing a peekaboo. Propagation is just like snagging lightning. It does whatever it pleases and does it very well. But anyway, moving back up to home, up there to Chattanooga, and I had many memories up there. Decatur is where I grew up, and Decatur was on the Tennessee River, and there were a lot of boats that were built in Decatur, and trying to fly the Tennessee River, which was hard to fly, and until they built Wilson Dam. That's the only way they could get around what do they call that thing? They had names for the hazards to navigation, and it was what do they call it? There's one place up there called the Suck, and what would happen is there'd be some underwater rocks and all kind of stuff that would play with the current, and it would make it hard to get through. And then, of course, it was pretty well. It was pretty well fixed when it put in Wilson Dam, because Wilson Dam was a pretty high dam. But anyway, of course, there was all kinds of attempts to fix it during the 1800s, and they were just trying to get by that bad place in the river. But that's all right. The Tennessee River is an Indian river, and it's a wild river, no doubt about it. But they tamed it with a TVA, and it's something. All right, good to hear you, Mr. Joe. And next time it comes around, tell us about moving back to Chattanooga. And this steamboat operator had a steamboat named Chattanooga. And, but anyway, all right, mighty good. Back to you, Dr. John. KN4, Mike Echo, and the group. This is KF4TXQ, and I'm in an old buzzard mood. Over.
Well, I kind of like listening to old buzzards with good AM. Let's see if I can get this thing quit header dining. I was using the synchronous detector that time. This is KN4 Mike Echo for ID. There was some very rapid, severe phase distortion with QSB, and flipping on the synchronous detector amazingly improves that. For those of you that have never experienced that, quite impressive. I don't usually have to use it with strong signals, but that was a really worked out. Something McGee was that Captain, Riverboat Captain you mentioned the other night, and there's still a restaurant there in Decatur which is worth going to. Very, very good restaurant. Mac, this is my own design. It's sort of like a maypole, except where all of the inverted V elements are in the same vertical plane, and not very far separated. I'm sure they interact. I just cut 40 meters for a middle of the 40-meter band dipole, same for 20. But for the lower bands, I just sort of compromised, and for 17, 15, and 10, all of that is fed with 450 ohm ladder line. So I'm just tuning the reactance out, whatever appears at a given frequency. And darn if it doesn't work well. I'm getting significantly better reports from 30, 20, and 15 than tuning up the 75-meter inverted V. Which is the apex is 75 feet. This antenna is probably 45 to 50 feet and fed with 450 ohm ladder line. I just got PVC small pipe spreaders cut and drilled and put it up on one support, and it's probably the best 40-meter antenna I've had. Beats the long wires that I've had on something. We're talking about on received signals, quite a few SE units better. Anyway, I'll send you a picture of it with the dimensions and the lengths of the wires. And I just tune everything. That's my... I've never had a coax, a cut-to-length antenna, wire antenna. Anyway, small things I go say, Joe, it'd be nice to have you up more neighborly here. You can drive down here and get a cup of coffee. Not that far, just 3.5 hours, as opposed to 8 or 10. So I'd be glad to have you as a neighbor, for sure. Mac, I think it goes to you, and I'm not copying Joe. You can pass along regrets there. W4AX and the crew. That'd be K4JCP, KF4TXQ. This is KN4 Mike Echo.
Anybody else want to join before I transmit? All right. KN4ME, W4AX, thanks, Dr. John, and good evening to you, Joe. And I'm sorry I did not have a good copy on you that time, nor did Dr. John, but I'm sure as it gets a little darker, conditions will improve. Sun's going to set here, and well, it's going to be 2 hours now before the sun sets here. And yes, you guys are in the northern part of Alabama. I grew up in the very southern part in Mobile, and I haven't lived there since I was, since I went to the University of Alabama in 1971. But I did grow up in Mobile, so I guess that's where my real roots come from. And married my high school sweetheart from Mobile, and so there you go. Let's see. And Dr. John, I have several machines here that do synchronous AM, and it is great. The only time I ever find it gets fouled up is if there's another real strong carrier, like on 3880 or something. It'll try to go over there and grab it sometimes, and that'll mess you up. But other than that, I do really like it. And I'd love to see picture in your antenna design. And, I'm convinced if you put the right Johnson matchbox or roller inductor capacitor combination onto a 450 ohm ladder line, you can tune anything. So well done. Here comes Joe. And then we can all listen out if there's somebody else. K4JCP, W4AX.
but I'll get it at 7.
Okay, Kevin. Well, this is KF4TXQ, and Mr. Joe just turned it over to me. And do you need to pick it up now, Kevin, or can I make one?
Go ahead. I think he turned it over to Manuel. I'm just letting y'all know I'm here, but I'll assume the call in about 15 minutes. I thought he turned it to Manuel, but go ahead, Sam, and turn it to Manuel. Over.
Roger, roger. My mistake. I'm sorry, but you know how it is. Do the best I can. When you get to be 82 years old, you just are 82. You don't make excuses. You just say, I'm 82. But anyway, yeah, the Southern Cotton Oil Mills in Decatur, Mr. J. Farrell, and Mr. J. Farrell was a character. He was from, he was someplace over in Arkansas. He was from Searcy, Arkansas, I think. But anyway, Mr. Joe, that's what I recollect. And I got to know Mr. J. Farrell pretty well because they rented a house right out our back door. And he had young children, and of course I was a teenager at the time, and so it all worked out. Yeah, who was it that wrote that song? The Whirl and the Suck. It may have been Johnny Cash. I think he maybe wrote that song, and it was pretty popular in its day. But anyway, and they were talking about the Whirl and the Suck on the Tennessee River. But anyway, once they got past Muscle Shoals, it became a real highway. And the reason everybody scuffled around Decatur is because the soil around Decatur was that wonderful balance of clay and loam and all that kind of stuff. They called it Decatur clay. And it was the best soil for raising cotton it ever was. And of course, one reason they were trying to navigate the Tennessee River is those folks were raising cotton around there, all those places, Limestone County, Morgan County, and all those places along there. And they were trying to find an efficient way to get the cotton to market down in New Orleans. But anyway, that's as much as I know about it. Mighty good. All right, let's see here. Joe, you told me to turn it to somebody, but I can't remember. That's my 82 years showing again. But let's see. Whoever it was supposed to pick it up, get it now. And you jump in there if they don't do it there, Mr. Joe. This is KF4TXQ. Over.
Manuel.
You got it, Manuel?
I heard John in there, VZS too.
That's Colorado on the camera or slowly. I didn't have enough sensor and that's pretty good on here. So over to you, Matt. Thanks for that's where it goes. Stay so usual.
Okay, almost, John. Good evening to you and good evening, Manuel. It goes to Dr. John next, KN4ME, then to me, then to Joe. Go ahead, Dr. John.
Yeah, thanks, Mac. I'll keep it brief. I'm not hearing everybody real well. Manuel, you're coming in the bus from stations in that direction, down on the Gulf and in Florida. And I think it'll certainly work for the net if it'll continue to improve. Matt, go ahead and pick it up. I'm sitting here making some notes and fiddling around in the shack and enjoying listening. W4AX and the crew, KM4ME.
I couldn't tell who that was. If one of the Florida guys will pick them up, I suspect they were down south. There was somebody else in there. KM4ME, W4AX. Thanks, Dr. John. Thanks so much for the video and the picture. That's very helpful. And good evening to John, BZS, and I understand about progress, but sure I'm anxious to hear that thing on the air. Manuel, good evening to you. You're a solid Q3, Q4 in here, so no problem copying you, and I'm sure Joe will come up this time as well. And Kevin, you're knocking my doors off over here, so you've got a big signal. All right, let's see. Over to Joe, and then if Kevin's going to be in there, otherwise it goes to Sam. K4JCP, W4AX.
And just send it to K5HFG, Joe, when you get done. That was Don. Who's the go-to? Hold on real quick. Let's just see if we got some check-ins real quick. I know we still got about 5 or 8 minutes. Let me just tell you who I got, by the way. I got Mac, AX, Sam, TSQ, Dr. John, Joe's Coffee Pot, Manuel, BZF John, and HFG Don in Tech Ridge. Anybody else want to get on the roundtable / pre-net for the Eagle AM? Come now, WA4KM.
Quebec.
Okay, woo, that was kind of there. Hey, Richard, I heard Richard coming there. G4WQQ, I heard W4WFL, I heard Roy, W4 Diddle Diddle, and WB4KKJ. Did I miss anybody on that? There was a pile up. If I didn't call you, please come.
WA4I.
Okay, whew, okay. Well, we got a bunch in there. I don't know where to start or what we're doing with the net. Will be here in about 5 minutes. Let's see. Well, let's pick up Richard, KG4WQQ over in Alabama. Richard, go ahead and make one. WA4KM in the pre-net for the Eagle AM net.
Well, I thank you there, Kevin, and we just checking out the radio gear and make sure everything's going to work for us. And good evening to everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful day, even though the sun kind of stuck its eye in and stuck its eye out and kind of made it overcast and cloudy for everybody. But you know, it's every day we live, we need to be thankful we're above the dirt and not pushing up the daisies and letting everybody come out there and cry over us at a tombstone. We all need to be thankful for that for sure. But we are above the dirt, and we're among the living, and we get to join hands and have good fellowship, good people to talk to around the world on the radio. With that, Kevin, I'll turn it over to the next one. I didn't get my pen fast enough to write down everybody, so jump in there and turn it over for me. Kilo Golf 4, Whiskey, Quebec, Quebec.
Oh, yeah, you got the anon. That thing sounds really good, Richard. No joke. I know we talked earlier. It sounds great. I wouldn't change a thing about it. All right, now about W4. Well, let me just take them before I pick up WFL. Was any one of the other guys originally in here that needed to say anything before we kind of go on over? Okay, I didn't know if anybody's right in the middle of a conversation with the two, but go ahead, W4WFL, make one in the pre-net, WA4KM. W4WFL, are you there? Okay, how about Roy? Hey, Roy, W4I diddle diddle. It's over to you. WA4KM in the pre-net. Wow, am I getting out? How about WB4KKJ?
Not much going on down here. I'll turn it back over to you because I know the next one starts pretty soon. So, WB4KKJ.
Kevin, the net is playing peekaboo with propagation, over.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't want to leave them out because I heard them really good, and it's kind of up and down. But it will get better as the sun goes down. Anyway, let's see. That was KKJ. How about Greg? You got anything you want to add in the pre-net here? I know Dr. John and Mac and Sam had a good QSO and Joe going on there. And you're sounding really good this evening in the Villarica. WA4II, WA4KM.
WA4KM in the group. This is WA4II. Well, been a good day today, and got a little bit of work done. I kind of don't like these four-letter words, especially that W word, but I've been doing a little bit of it today, so might save that comment for the net anyway. Good to hear you. This is WA4II. Back to the group.
Okay, well, you sounding good, Greg, for sure. Really good. The band is getting a little bit better as we're going on. Hopefully here in another 2 or 3 minutes it'll settle down and it'll get better as the night goes on. Anyone else like to get on the pre-net for the Monday Night Eagle AM net, please come at this time. This is WA4KM. Yeah, I had called you, Richard, W4WFL. Go ahead. You probably just couldn't hear me. I had called you earlier, but go ahead. Thanks on there, Richard. I got you on the list. Over. Okay, Richard. Well, I appreciate it, and this is about that time. Well, about 20 seconds. But anyway, Manuel, if you don't mind, kind of listen out. We might need some relay, and you're one of the louder ones, especially down there on the Gulf Coast. All righty. Well, we'll kick this thing off. Let me tell you first what I got on the list, and then we'll go through here. Again, I got Mac on here, AX Sam, ME, Dr. John, Joe's Coffee Pot, Manuel, John, VZS, Don out Tick Ridge, Richard QQ, and the other Richard WFL, Roy I Diddle Diddle, KKJ Greg, and then the other Greg. All the Gregs and Richards are in line. WA4II. Okay, is the frequency clear? Okay, hearing nothing. This is the Eagle AM WE4AM net operating on 3885 kilocycles in the AM mode. This is a directed net. Your net control this evening is Kevin, and my call is WA4KM. I'll be the net control for the Eagle AM Club net, WE4AM this evening. The net begins taking check-ins around 5:30 Central, which is 6:30 Eastern, daylight savings time, and the actual club net will follow at 6 p.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern.
We'll now take a 30-second quiet reflection period in memory and appreciation for all essential personnel, silent keys, and anyone suffering from illnesses. And we'll start the 30 seconds now. All right, thank you for that. I enjoyed doing that out of respect for all the people. Okay, before taking regular check-ins, are there any QRP or mobile out there wishing to check in on the WE4AM net? If so, please come at this time. WE4AM. Okay, hearing nothing. Okay. All right, we'll start taking check-ins now. If you're on the list that I called earlier, you don't need to check in again. But I'll start with the prefixes of whiskey, kilo, November, and alpha, and we'll go with that. And if you have a listing or a want or a need or announcements, just when it's your turn, please list those items or any announcement if you have any. All righty. At this time, do we have any whiskey prefixes that'd like to get on the roster this evening? Please come now. WE4AM.
W4OLJ.
Okay. Good evening, Virgil. Big signal as always. Sounding good. All right. Do we got any additional kilos that'd like to get on the net? Please come at this time. Okay, hearing nothing on that. How about Novembers? Do we have any November prefixes like to get on the roster? Please come now. I think that was Frank. Was that November 4 or AXE? Was that you, Frank? Okay, I got you, Frank. I was on Facebook with him earlier. Thanks for stopping by, and glad you're on there. AXE, I know his call. I recognize his voice. Okay, how about any alpha calls? We got any alphas, prefixes? Please come at this time. WE4AM. Okay, any calls of any kind? Okay, heard nothing. All right, we'll go back up at the top of the list. Appreciate everybody stopping by this evening on the Monday Night Eagle AM net. Got a good crew in here this evening, and so far everybody's doing okay. I think we're bound to get better as we go. All right, first on the list tonight, I've got Mac up there in ball ground. Mac, W4AX, you got a great signal in the Villa Record, by the way, 40 over. Anyway, over to you, Mac, for your comments. WE4AM.
All right, WE4AM, W4AX. Thanks so much, Kevin, as to you back over this way. So good evening to you and everyone else that I haven't said good evening to, all the Eagles, and I think I'm copying everyone pretty well. There's a few stations not yet, but we're still an hour and a half from sunset here. Running 370 watts of carrier, 150% positive modulation and 100% negative modulation. Big project around here. I haven't been doing a lot of ham radio stuff recently, but I have been working with the CNC and working with laser engraving, champagne flutes, and those vacuum bottles, that people like to drink out of, etc., and various things like that. Just something a little different. Hope everybody has a great week and a great weekend. Hope to hear you on the SEMRC net and the Mullet net later this week. Thanks so much for running the net, Kevin. You always do a great job. WE4AM, W4AX.
Beautiful, beautiful audio, Mac. I think you've even actually touched it up a little bit. It sounds really good. And I know Richard, he's got that baritone voice kind of like you do too, Mac, as well. Y'all got a great station. All right, over there to my co-host partner on the Tuesday night SMRC, Mr. Sam in Alabama. Sam, what you got for the Eagle Net this evening? KF4 TXQ on Sandy Creek. This is WE4AM.
Mighty fine, Kevin. WE4AM. And the group, this is KF4TXQ. Boy, what a wonderful net. And by the way, Mac, you up over 40 over most of that transmission you just made. And Kevin, you got a new rig, I think, and when it comes back around to you, clue us in on what your new rig is. It sounds great. But anyway, we got some wonderful sounding stations here, and I think everybody is inspired by the success of each station as they come on to try to improve their presence on the AM band. But anyway, it's been a whole lot of fun, I'll tell you that. And Joe, good luck on your move back home up at Chattanooga. And I'll tell you right now, get up there and ride the incline. I'll tell you what, ain't it fine? Back to net. This is KF4TXQ. Doing a great job, Kevin. Over.
All right, Sam, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm on a different flex. I've got two 5,000 flex and one 6600, and I'm on a different one this evening, and I made a little bit different adjustments in the EQ settings. I hope it's as good or better, or hopefully not worse than the other one. Anyway, and we're running the Homebrew 3CX 3000 amp at about like Mac at about 320 watts, though. I'm not hitting it that hard because I'm running the HF Auto Tuner, and I don't know how much it can take. So if I was on the AT5 tuner, it'll take more. I could probably do full legal limit. But anyway. All righty, moving right along. Dr. John down there in Killen, Alabama, KN4ME. It's over to you for your comments, Dr. John, WE4AM.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. And I got a couple of questions for it. I don't know how much I have to add. I concur, beautiful signals and enjoying it. Question number one is, I understood you rode a couple of 100 miles on the two-wheeler there for the first time in quite a while. Just wonder how the derriere is setting today. Number two is our friend Dr. Mike, our veterinarian from Chickamauga. I have just not heard that gentleman on much, actually in quite a while. And any news about Mike would be appreciated here, and try to get him back on the air. I've always enjoyed meeting him in person as well as talking. And that's about it. We're enjoying a beautiful day and a nice net. Kevin, just different degrees of excellence with audio on the different rigs. I couldn't tell one from the other. WE4AM and the AM net, KN4 Mike Echo.
Okay, Dr. John, I sure appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I was sore on the inside of my legs, and my butt and back was a little stiff, but now, I hadn't been on one in so long, and it was such a beautiful ride to Valley, Alabama, down there in Lynette to the Sonny's little buffet they had, and all I ate was fish and fried green tomatoes. They had fresh ones come out in the pan, and I didn't even eat the vegetable. I stacked me up some of them fried green tomatoes and had the grilled fish, and that was it. And so it was really good too. And second question on Dr. Mike, I don't know, is anyone out there, we'll take a pause, have any information on Dr. Mike? If so, please come now. We'll take a pause if someone's got some information for Dr. John. Okay, not hearing nothing, Dr. John. Yeah, I haven't heard him in quite some time either. Somebody, I don't have his information, or we could maybe reach out to him. All righty, thank you, Dr. John. Always got a good signal. And let's see, let's go. Joe, I didn't know you were moving to Chattanooga back up there, Joe. You'll be a little closer to me. At least you'll get away from the Fort Walton where there's no fort and no beach. K4JCP, WE4AM. Well, Joe, I appreciate it. And I know you look forward to get back to Chattanooga. That's pretty up there. We love riding on that back road. I don't know if that's over 41 or whatever. The road that runs behind Lookout Mountain and goes by Chickamauga. We take the back roads up there instead of getting on the interstate when we ride the motorcycles. It's always a great ride. All righty, well, we'll break with Joe down there and send it down there to Manuel from the tallest mountain in Florida. KW4TV, WE4AM.
WE4AM, KW4TV. Okay, Kenny, almost snappy. But anyway, good to hear all the good audio on here. Shame I got that excited. You had a good streak going there with the good audio. And a little bit disappointed in Joe's coffee pot there, talking about the mountain. Well, I'll get over it, Joe. You come back and say hello to Sam and Matt. Hey, good to have him in here this evening. Rough him up there a little bit. You got a chance, Kevin. Got John VZS. We got things are rolling tonight. Maybe there'll be a few more in here. I always good to hear everybody. So with that, Kevin, we'll have to wait for the new stuff on my ear. WE4AM, KW4TV.
Okay, Manuel. Well, you always got a good signal in here. Real quick, which radio are you on this evening?
I'm on the old Pro 3 tonight.
Okay, I know it's different, but it sounds great. The Pro 3 makes great AM. That's the reason I was just curious. And I'm sure you're running probably the QRO, but it's doing great. Okay. All righty. Well, we'll break with Manuel and go down and pick up John, K4VZS. John, it's over to you for your comments in the Monday Night Eagle AM net. Well, you sound good, John. Well, maybe take a break for a while on this radio and talk for a bit and get away from out in the shop. But I say that, but I know people won't leave you alone, and you enjoy working on that stuff. So, and we appreciate a lot of people. You help keep everybody's rigs up and going too, as well. All righty, let's see. I'll break with him. Let's go out there to Tech Ridge, Mississippi. Don, K5HFG. Come on in here, WE4AM. Okay, 73's Don. Yeah, you were coming up there as the sun's going down. You did come up from when you first came in there, so that's a good thing. All right, and we'll take some more check-ins here in just a minute for the Eagle AM Monday Night Net. But at this time, we'll send it down there. Speaking of audio, Richard, again, you've got that thing set up really good. And no complaints here. No, I don't hear anything. No RF, no nothing. Just good baritone audio. So Welcome to, by the way, Richard. KG4WQQ. This is WE4AM. It's over to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Kevin, and you're sounding good here, too. And there's a lot of good sounding radios out there this afternoon, or this evening, and it's good to hear that everybody's in there. I ain't got much to say about it, just thought I'd hang around and check out and check in and check out and check out and check in, and just whatever needs to be done to maybe help up your numbers for the calling here on the net. I ain't one for much of net makings, but we'll try it out for a while and see how we like it. Who knows? And Mikey tried it and he liked it. I might try it and might like it myself. You can't ever tell. I ain't got to put up with a bunch of yahoos really downgrading you, but it's all good. And you're sounding real good, Kevin. And man, that John, he was sounding real good here. And Sam, I got it wrote down here. And you know, it's just one of those things that to be able to get in here and conversate and have a good carrying on and see what everybody is. We'll turn it back over to you. WE4AM on KG4WQQ.
Well, I tell you, that thing sounds really good. Yeah, Sam, Good Signal, Dr. John, Mac, all the guys, Virgil. Well, Virgil will be coming up here in a minute. They're just, well, everybody's got good sounding rigs, I'll tell you. And we like fooling around with this stuff and audio as well, and plate modulated stuff or whatever you got. All righty, well, next on the list, and thanks for stopping by, Richard. Hope you'll come back. Next on the list, we'll send it down there to the other Richard, W4WFL. Richard, what's going on down there? WE4AM. Okay, Richard, well, you sound really good. You're going to love the Viking, too. That was my first rig I had. I still have, as a matter of fact, 30-plus years ago. The Viking 2, and I got a 122 VFO. I got a bunch of crystals for it, too, for here. And also the 170. That's what I talked on for years when Andy and Sam and a bunch of them helped me get into the AM world and helped me along. But you'll enjoy that Viking too. 230 on the plate, 6 mils of grid, and let her go. All right, we'll break with you, Richard, and then let me see, before we pick Roy up, I got Roy, Greg, Virgil, and Frank, but let me see if there's anyone else real quick that we got about 5 or 6 more to go here. If you're not on the list and would like to get on the Monday Night Eagle AM list, please come at this time. We'll put you down. WE4AM. Okay. Hold on here. K4KHD. There we go. All right. Anyone else? That's Mr. Jimmy. I can't read my own writing. Okay, we got you on here, Mr. Jimmy. Good to hear you this evening. All right. With that said, Roy, let's. What radio are you on this evening? W4I Diddle Diddle. WE4AM.
All right, thank you, Kevin. W4I Diddle Diddle. Pensacola. And I tell you, I've had trouble hearing anybody listening to anything. A golden day was like this. I went out there and chased my antenna sales. I tell you what, we've had awful conditions here lately. I sure hope it improves before summertime gets here. Everybody knows how it is in the summer, but maybe we'll have another day or so of good bad conditions before it's all said and done. Well, it's good to be here this evening. Good to hear everybody I can hear. And let's see, Jimmy, you must have ruled me out here a while ago when you checked in. This drive up here, I don't know what the deal is. It's like, well, about as south of me or southeast of me is sounding good as the ones north and northwest and all that don't seem to have as good a signals as the others. So there you go. I don't know. Anyway, it's like I said, it's good to be here too. Sherman, I appreciate you picking the net up this evening, and I will say this in closing. Well, let me say this before I close. I'm on this Daisy May this evening, the B&W 5100, a big model, and the B stands for beautiful, an NC300 receiver, pair of 813s, and a B&W amplifier. So there you go, about 275 watt carrier. So there you go, something like that anyway. I'll close, Kevin, by saying this. I hope everybody out there in Radio Land feels the same this evening. What a wonderful evening for AM. Before I better really turn it back to you, Kevin.
Always good to hear you, Roy. I enjoy your comments and your sayings there. Wouldn't be the same without them. Miss Daisy May's doing you a good job this evening, and I'm comping you just fine. And the band is getting a little bit better. We've got storms south of us. I was looking, and I don't know what it is about I-20, but everything south of I-20 is, we got a lot of rain here, and I'm sure that's what we're hearing around here. And as Eddie Brown says, the I-10 curtain might be up too. Who knows? Anyway, we'll break with Roy. Roy, take care. Always good to hear you, and we'll send it down to Greg. WB4KKJ. Greg, it's over to you for your comments. WE4AM.
Good evening, Kevin. WE4AM, WB4KKJ, Page, Florida. Doing good, Kevin. We're sounding good. Everybody sounding good. We got some good audio there tonight. So just on the Drake C line with a low help from the L4B. Left the voice 78. So turn it back over to you, Kevin. WE4AM, WB4KKJ.
Well, I tell you, the Drake's doing a great job, by the way, and keep it up. And I'm glad you're here this evening. All righty, and you sound good, actually, really good. The band is getting better, but we're getting there down the list, but that's just the way it goes. As Sam says, we're not in control. We just got to do the best we can. So, with that said, we'll send it down there to Mr. Greg, WA4II. And Greg, what are you on this evening, by the way? I'm just curious. Over to you for your comments, WE4AM.
WE4AM on the net. This is WA4II. Well, let's see, what am I on? No medication, but other than my diabetes medicine, but I've using the old trusty Johnson Vacuum Valiant. That's become pretty much my own standby. And receiver is a very powerful ace. I like it. I've got plenty of receivers, plenty of transmitters, but I think I pretty much settled on this one. Well, I can use an R4C. I've got one of them too, but I've got it paired with a T4X sleeve for the C line. But I've got quite a conglomerate of radio, and we've had a good day today, and I had a friend come up and help me, and we put the cobweb antenna in the air, and it works. I don't have anything to compare it to side by side, but yeah, I can say that it does work, and I made a contact in Virginia on 20 meters, which that's, nothing special, but at least I got a 5.9 report to one of them portal stations, and well, the time I got it here, I think it was a little over $300, and you don't have to have a rotor to turn it. It's omnidirectional. So I've got it down here at Station 2 anyway. So that's the rundown on the cobweb for those that might be interested. And for those that are not interested, I apologize. But again, I had a good day, and back to the net. WE4AM, this is WA4II.
All right. Well, sounds like it's working for you. And I've got, speaking of a cobweb or an upside-down umbrella, I've got a hex beam out here that's got 6, 10, 12, 15, 17, 20, and I'm here to tell you that's a great antenna, and you don't have to put it up very high either. So, and it works real good too, and it's real lightweight, small footprint. Oh, and I know for a fact Greg's got a lot of drakes. Beautiful equipment too. Alrighty, we'll break with him, and let me turn my volume down a little bit. Y'all get ready. Here comes Sweetwater, Tennessee, Mr. Virgil. W4OLJ. Virgil, what's going on up in Sweetwater today? It's over to you, WE4AM.
WE4AM and the net, this is W4OLJ. Well, okay, Kevin. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot going on. It was crowded here over the weekend. They had that Highway 11 yard sale that comes through here. It goes from, I think, goes from one end of Highway 11 to the other, wherever that might be. But anyway, the little old town was really crowded over the weekend. But other than that, not much going on. Well, Greg and that Valiant coming on in up here really sounded good. And I've got a Valiant. They're a good rig. When my dad passed away, he had 4 Valiants and 4 Rangers. He was hung up on them Rangers and Valiants, and I've still got one of each that he had. Well, I'm going to have a VIP guest here in the shack tomorrow, Kevin. Stan, W4KR, he's going to come by here in the morning. He's headed home from Indiana, and he's going to swing by here on his way over to South Carolina. So looking forward to that, getting to talk to him there a little while. So anyway, you're doing a great job, sounding good. Everybody's sounding good. We're copying about everybody. Don out there in Dick Ridge and Mike and just everybody coming in. Joe down there in Florida and Roy, I diddle. Everybody just coming in good up here tonight. So back to you, and everybody have a good evening. WE4AM. This W4OLJ.
Alrighty, Virgil. Well, that'd be good. Don't hold Stan up too long. He's got to call the net tomorrow night. He get up there in that little, your collection or museum, I call it. I know you don't, but you got some beautiful stuff out there. I've seen it. And Stan get up there, he may not want to go home, or he may want to load his vehicle down. But anyway, all right, Virgil, I'm assuming you're on the 41000 rig there, the voice modulated carrier voice rig, and it always does a good job. All righty, let's see, we'll break with Roy and see if we can pick up Frank down there in Pace. Frank, good to hear you. I'm glad you responded and got on here. Hope you and Miss Lisa's doing really good down there in Pace. N4XAE, over to you for your comments. WE4AM. so glad you come in here. It's good to hear you, and we miss both you and Lisa both. And, of course, I'm keeping up with you now on the Facebook, so that's always good to see the stuff y'all are putting on there. Pretty interesting stuff. So tell Miss Lisa we said hello, and you sound great, by the way. You sounded really good. All righty. Let's see. We got Mr. Jimmy down here, last one on the list, and after that we'll take some check-ins. Mr. Jimmy, K4KHD, it's over to you for your comments. WE4AM.
You sounding mighty good from Mariana, Mr. Jimmy.
All right, Mr. Jimmy, I concur with Sam there. You sounding really good from Mariana, and you always sound real good. And I appreciate you stopping by. Always good signal, and I'm copying you real good as well. All righty, well, we've reached the bottom of the list this evening for the Eagle AM net. As Roy would say, it's a wonderful evening for AM, WE4AM. If you'd like to get on the roster in the net, we'd love to have you. Please come at this time. This is WE4AM. Oh, I heard somebody, but a static crash got them in there. Can I get a relay for that, Manuel, or one of you guys? I see somebody and I can barely hear them in there. Can anyone give me a little bit of help? WE4AM.
I barely hear them too, Kevin. AW4TV.
Okay, yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you, but well, go ahead if you can hear me. Well, go ahead and make one. Some of the other guys may hear you, and appreciate you stopping by. We got these storms up here in South Georgia, and the static's really bad this evening. But if you're hearing me, go ahead and I can see you on the scope here. Go ahead and make one. Maybe somebody else can pick you up. WE4AM. Okay, well, appreciate you stopping by, and sorry we couldn't get a real good copy on you, but you know that we got bad storms, and you know as Sam says, we just have to do the best we can. Okay, let me get my little paper here. I appreciate. Let me make sure. Did I miss anybody? I don't ever like missing anyone. Did I miss anybody on the list? Please come now if I did. WE4AM. Okay, good. That's a good thing. I don't like to leave nobody out. People wait on it, and if you leave that to get upset, and I don't blame them. I would too. So we done go. All righty. Join the W4AMI and the W4GCM club nets held each Tuesday and Thursday evening. With that being said, the W4AMI will be tomorrow night on Tuesday, and then Thursday will be the Gulf Coast Mullet Society. Respectfully, at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on 3885 kilocycles right here where we're at. And as well as the Warren Ellie Memorial Net at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, presented by the Florida AM Group on Sunday mornings. If you want to stop by there, those guys would appreciate it. Got a good group in there. All righty, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one who participated tonight. I really enjoyed it. It's an honor to call this net and talk with each and every one of my friends out here. Good people. This is the WE4AM Club Net, now clear, returning the frequency back to normal AM use. 73s, and have a great evening, everyone.